Holy Land is a group of towns that are named after holy places in the original Holy Land. Some of the town names are Jericho, St. Cloud, St. Anne,
St. Joe, St.
Johnsburg.
Peter. For every church steeple, there's at least a bar and 200 people in the town. Small town, church, bar.
Around here we play Sheephead.
I think it's a Wisconsin thing that I don't know if many people play outside of Wisconsin, Sheephead.
Dating his sister, I was not allowed to get into the family until I learned Sheephead.
We didn't mind that because then we filled our pockets with nickels.
Yeah, I did my best to try to get into the family. Pretty expensive, you know.
Oh, I was about 10 years old. I used to play, my grandma and grandpa. We played Sheephead. Then after a while, later when I went to high school, I stayed at my dad's folks, and we played every night, two-handed. As soon as I come home from school, we'd have supper, and it would be Sheephead. Grandma wouldn't play with us because she always lost.
When did I learn how to play Sheephead? I tell you, I went to this school where we had an hour noon for lunch. And one of the gals knew how to play Sheephead, so we'd sit on top of the benches and play for, well, as long as we could after we had eaten our lunch. And, well, we weren't too good at it, but it was a start, enough to get us going.
I learned Sheephead when I was in about second grade, about 7, 8 years old. My parents taught me how to play, and that was a family thing at that time of playing cards.
You probably started about 2?
I would say I was like, no more than 6 or 7 when I was getting my first hands, probably.
You guys got an advantage. I don't think I learned until college.
Seriously, I guess I was so young that I remember running around the table going Schneider. Like,
I was about 19 years old. I started learning how to play cards with my husband Skip's family, and they were all card sharks. So it was, most of the time I lost money until I knew what I was playing. But it was the only way you learn to play Sheephead is by actually playing. Nobody can tell you what to do until you start playing it. So you have to learn the hard way.
Well, when we lived in St. Cloud, and Eloise was still living, and we got, get acquainted, and then first thing you know, do you play cards?
Oh, that would be 56 years ago. Right after we were married, some friends came to our house, and they said they weren't going home until I knew how to play Sheephead. So we played pretty near till morning.
A good, cold, wintry night, we'd run to one house. Two couples would start. They would play a few hands, have a drink. It was a stormy night, you're walking. Then we'd run to the next neighbor, play a few hands, have a drink. That would go on till 2, 3 o'clock. Lots of fun. If it was forecast to have a snowstorm, you knew the phone was going to ring. It's a good night to play cards.
Yeah, we can't waste time. Time is so precious for us old people. We don't know how much longer we've got to live, you know.
All our neighbors played. Get the cards out, play cards, and sometimes drink moonshine. That went along with it.
I sat on my dad's lap for years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They,
I
like,
remember
game
when
like
I
this.
first started playing on my own, but by 10 for sure.
I used to bring beers to my dad's guys who were playing in my little semi-truck. And load them in the back. Man, be in here! Take it to the kitchen. Load it up. You were doing that at 10? Maybe 4 or 5. See? It's pretty fun. I barely remember that. But you still just got the word Schneider and blitzers and all that stuff in your lesson.
See, I came from a family that never played cards.
Yeah.
You came from a family that their social thing was to sit down. You don't go in the living room, sit on the couch and stuff and talk. You went in the dining room, and you played sheephead, and you talked.
Of all the card games, why do you pick Sheephead?
It's so Sheephead picked us. I mean,
So, I mean, it's
You
a
get
social.
together and have a few beers and play and talk.
You want to make sure you see her.
Yeah. Oh, but she's nice.
Does she work for Dr. Hetzner?
I pass.
So what do they give you? Yeah, everybody gets a buck and a dough tag.
Yep, the door tag is for only like herd control though. Like up there, we had to buy one. No, we're not. We had to buy a door tag.
Like all the different ones we play with today, you know. It's good for their mind.
About 3 years ago, my mother confronted me and asked me if I would like to have the senior people come up and play cards up here, or sheephead. And I said, sure, what does it consist of? So I got to make them a meal at 11:30 in the afternoon. They eat at 12 o'clock. And then after they're done, they start playing sheephead.
It's a good pastime. We have a lot of fun. And it isn't very expensive, even if we go out to eat first or something. And I like playing cards.
You laugh a lot. Yeah, you have the right bunch, you're laughing all night. And that's good for you.
One night we went by the neighbors and we played four-handed sheephead. And then when you play four-handed, you have four in a blind and you're your own partner. And that night, no matter what I did, I couldn't do nothing wrong. I was the big winner that night. I think I won over $5.
Sometimes for pennies, sometimes for nickels, sometimes for quarters, once in a while for dollars.
There was no gambling.
Yeah. Pretzel rocks. That was really good. I ate well.
7 matchsticks is my biggest hauling. You don't remember your biggest winnings. You remember your biggest losings.
Yeah, I had a $62 hand once. Well, this was in St. Cloud, CYO. We used to play in $62 at 18 years old or 19 years old. Right now, $62 check was not working at Hardee's.
Oh, I think one time I won $4. Big deal.
Maybe $12, but that is at the rare time we are playing there. We are playing $1, $2, $3. I don't like that game. It makes me nervous. And I always look at how many hours it takes me to make that. I just can't see letting it go like that on a gamble.
I always felt for the first 20 years or so, I felt quite accomplished if I came out even playing with Bill's family.
If you want to play the game of sheephead, you sit down and play win or lose. You got to have pay for your fun,
59.
Come on.
You gotta have 61 to win. If you pick the blind, and then the opponent's gotta have 32 or more. And if we got 32, we say we got Schneider. If you have under 32, then you have to pay. Or 31, you have to pay.
Dan Schneider's the biggest mower I've ever played with. Ever. That's when you have a good hand and you don't pick.
I do not mower. I am not. I refuse to be called a mower.
The reason
it's like a taboo. I mean, it's a terrible word.
Yeah.
You do not want to be a mower.
Yeah, you do not want to.
The reason why is you can beat the pickle then. So if you maul and you have a good hand on the pickles, then you can beat the pickle.
Especially coming from a Catholic background, there is some guilt. There's some guilt in there. If someone calls you a mower.
Yeah. You had a good left hand to pick.
Yeah.
You didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Sinner.
I will see you in the gates of hell.
That's pretty much what
You have to go to confession after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta think once in a while, no? Did I play right or didn't I?
I think everybody gets along all back there and everything. No rolling around fight or anything like that, but
I've got 2 boys and 2 girls. 3 of them play, the boys and my daughter. And of course, I'm used to playing with this group here, and they don't play as often as I do. And so they kind of diddle around once in a while, and I say, hey, get with the program. If you'd play with my gang, they'd throw you out.
after every hand they got to talk about it, what they could have did, and they didn't do it right, so.
Alex made a little bit. Yeah, I did. It's the second one.
Just enjoy it. Some people pick on the 7 of diamonds, and they now and then they'll win. And if they lose, the guy says, "What the heck? Look at how much fun the other guys had. It only costed me about a dime working, or a quarter, $1. It ain't much."
If you don't want to sit and talk and visit, you better know how to play sheephead.
If my dad or my family would have grew up playing euchre, I'm sure I'd be playing euchre, but they didn't. I mean, I'm sure every family gathering you guys go to.
Sheephead.
You think your kids will play sheephead together someday?
Yeah. Hope so. Hope so. Play together? Yeah, maybe, but play? Yes, for sure.
It was fun. It kept you going. Kept the kids at home and out of mischief. So.
Do you think that's why you play now? Because it keeps you out of mischief?
Oh, well, I don't get in mischief. Try anything once.
I think you did that already.
I agree with you.
Sitting down by the fire